What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and of course we are continuing the series today with who would be the best in Smash. We already did Link from The Legend of Zelda, Sonic, and Mario, but now we've moved on to Kirby. Now there's some things that we're going to talk about before we get started here. Now we'll be looking at all Kirby copy abilities for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and seeing which one would be the coolest and the best to win out against all of the others. We will also be excluding specific copy abilities that may be too powerful, such as any of the Robobot armor or the super abilities or any type of combining abilities like Fire Sword, Ice Sword, or anything like that from Kirby Star Allies. It's also worth mentioning that some Kirbys outside of copy abilities have came up here, but they weren't super powerful, so I put them on here regardless just to reach that extra limit to make it even with 60 all the way across. So you might see the occasional Epic Yarn or Kirby's Rainbow Curse Kirby. And since we have a total of 60 different Kirby copy abilities, I'm going to try to go through this one a little quicker and put different Kirbys in groups to help speed up the process a bit. So if you guys are new to the channel and have not seen one of these videos yet, pretty much what we do is go by row and give each one a check or an X to see if it would make sense in Smash or not and if it would be really cool. At the very end, we'll look at every one that we checked and limit it down to about 5 different Kirbys. We'll then narrow it down to 4, then to 3, then to 2, and then finally 1 champion. So go ahead, look at these 60 Kirbys and try to predict which one that I am going to pick to make the best sense and be pretty much the coolest fighter for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Also, right before we get started, if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and like the video if you guys enjoyed it. It helps this series to continue on because I know you guys want to see more and more of this. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off our list, we have Stone Kirby. Stone Kirby is able to turn himself into a rock in many different shapes and sizes and even statues, which is pretty cool. He has an amazing uppercut move, and he can even roll across the ground a little bit with the rock. It actually would be a pretty cool defensive character, and I think he would survive many rounds. Ball Kirby, not to get confused with Canvas and Rainbow Curse Kirby, he just turns into a ball and is able to bounce around, but you can easily get knocked out of this, and that's pretty much the general gist of his moveset. Beam Kirby has the ability to either shoot beams in air or on the ground, and he can even charge them up for a more powerful attack. This would be a really cool projectile type of character. Crash Kirby has one attack only, and it's the ability to blow everything up on screen one time, and it may just say instantly KO everybody, but once it's used once, he can't use it anymore. So if it's any type of stock match over 1, he's losing. And Cutter Kirby would be pretty cool too because he can throw his blades like a boomerang and then it will return to him, and he can also use his blades as kind of a melee weapon up close and use some pretty cool combo attacks. Fire Kirby is just simply able to blow fire. He can also go across the stage really quickly, but that's already part of Kirby's dash attack moveset in Smash, and besides that, there's nothing else. Hammer Kirby is extremely powerful in the game and is probably one of the best copy abilities for Kirby, but for Smash he would just have the hammer and just swing it around. That would be really his only attack, but it still would be pretty useful. High Jump would have the greatest recovery, but that's really it. He would just be jumping up and down. Needle Kirby is able to stick to walls or even just hit people when they try to attack him, and he just works as this kind of, hazard on the stage, but that's really it for him. Sword Kirby would just be another sword fighter character, but he has lots of combos and moves with it in the Kirby game, so I feel like I kind of have to include it here. Wheel Kirby has unbelievable speed when he's moving around the stage, but that's pretty much it of his moveset. This incredibly rare power-up, the Light Kirby, is just that he lights up a room. Mike Kirby, just like Crash, can damage everybody on stage, but this time he has 3 different variants, each increasing in power, but that's pretty much it, and I just don't like him as a moveset at all. Laser Kirby is kind of like Rob, where he can just shoot out that laser out of his eye, but that's pretty much it with him as well. It would just be spamming projectiles. It wouldn't really win anything. And Parasol doesn't really do much. My friend's gonna kill me because he loves this one, but he just floats slowly from the sky, and he shoots out occasional stars out of his umbrella. That's really it. Spark is able to walk across the ground and charge up his own laser and fire it across the stage. He can also protect himself with an electric barrier, which I think would work pretty cool in Smash. Ice just allows Kirby to skate across the stage and freeze everything when he blows his cold air. Sleep literally just puts Kirby, that's it, to sleep. Star Rod is one of those weird ones I decided to add. Even though it's a special ability, I just added it because it's not that great. You know, it's just one of the few abilities that Kirby has in the game, and it just shoots like little stars out of a rod. And Suplex or Throw Kirby has the ability to pick up enemies and do these cool wrestler moves on them, which would be pretty cool. He'd have the coolest grab moves in the game, which I think would be pretty dope. He kind of already has this in the game where he can pick the enemy up and slam them on the ground, but seeing lots more of this would be pretty cool. Tornado Kirby spins around and wipes everything that's on stage and even gains vertical momentum, but that's pretty much it for that as well. UFO can stay airborne and actually shoot different types of lasers depending on how long you hold the button, which is actually pretty cool and is a little bit better than lasers, so we're going to give him a shot. Starship Kirby is another one of the weird ones that I added, which is technically like Kirby on a vehicle where he can shoot these little stars while riding this vehicle. It's nothing really crazy, but I said, nah, what the heck. Ninja Kirby has the ability to cling to walls and even throw ninja stars while disappearing and even doing cool combo attacks to enemies up close with a knife. Bomb Kirby does nothing but throw bombs, but I feel like for some reason it'd be incredibly useful just to keep chucking bombs and have really no cooldown time. He can even place the bombs on people's heads when he's really close and it just detonates on them and they can't even do anything about it. So yeah, I'll give it to him. Mirror gives Kirby the ability to shoot little mirror projectiles out of a wand and also to teleport and duplicate himself into multiple different copies, which would actually be pretty cool. Cooking Kirby would just be like Brawl's final smash for Kirby, where he just puts everybody nearby in a pot and cooks them up, but he only gets one use, which would probably not be that good. Copy is one that confuses me because I'm pretty sure it's just a item that allows Kirby to copy his enemies and get their powers, which is the same thing as him just sucking enemies up and then getting their powers. So I really don't understand what this does. I don't really remember this ability all that much, so please forgive me if there's some other special gimmick to it, but yeah, I don't know. Fighter gives Kirby the ability to have cool fighting moves, kind of like Ryu, where he can punch, kick, he can even shoot like a little Hadouken out, and I think he'd be pretty cool in Smash because he'd just be, you know, an average fighter. Injet Kirby would also be a type of recovery, a really good recovery for Kirby, but as far as a full moveset, I don't think it'd be that good. Yes, it can also attack enemies horizontally, but it's mostly just used for vertical height, and that's pretty much it. Yoyo Kirby can use his yo-yo like a yo-yo and bring it back and forth to him and swing it around his head in all kind of crazy ways. He can walk the dog. He can even spin on his head. He has a lot of cool movesets for this one, so this one gets a pass. Cleaning Kirby, once again, could also be another cool moveset because he doesn't just clean, he uses his animal buddies to help him out, whether it be pouring water on people or shooting a burst of air. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound amazing, but it's a diverse moveset for Kirby nevertheless. Wing allows Kirby to fly in the air with his wings and shoot feathers out at his opponents and also do like different types of skydives, but I don't think it'd be that great in Smash. Now, Bubble Kirby is where it gets kind of interesting because in Kirby's Squeak Squad, he gets to save items and power-ups within his stomach and that he can use later on, like up to 5 or 6 slots. So when he uses the Bubble Power, he turns enemies into these power-ups that he can store and use them whenever he wants. And this could be incredible in Smash because he could save maybe Link, Mario, Samus, and Mega Man's power-ups, and he can use them whenever he wants throughout the battle, which would be incredible. Kirby Mass Attack Kirby could be a whole bunch of little tiny ones that just attack in groups, kind of like Pikmin, but I just don't see much of a potential here. Cupid Kirby just flies around like Pit and shoots people with arrows, and that's pretty much the general gist of that one. Magic Kirby could kind of be like Hero, where he has this hat that is just full of tricks and random stuff. He can pull out any copy ability or any type of status effect, and he can also pull out some crazy things that hurt people out of his hat, so I think this would be actually pretty cool. Ghost Kirby is like the darker version of Cappy, where he's actually like possessing and controlling these enemies. He's not copying them, but controlling them himself, which would be pretty cool in Smash, because imagine if you could just take control of the other person's character and just like kind of make them shoot other players for a couple seconds and stuff. That would be really cool, and I think that'd be a cool moveset. Balloon Kirby just slowly floats in the air and you control where he goes. Metal Kirby is just like this giant, heavier, stronger version of Rock, and he really doesn't have much attacks. He just runs into enemies and it defeats them. It would be sweet and overpowered, but I just don't see it being that unique, and I'm getting too many attacks off of it. Mini just makes Kirby incredibly small to get through the terrain better. Missile allows Kirby to turn into a rocket and fly into anybody on stage, but the moveset isn't that dynamic. Rainbow or Canvas Curse Kirby would just roll around the stage. He doesn't really have much difference from the ball power-up, where he just rolls around and the player is able to control him with the Rainbow Road or with a line of paint. Animal can dig underground and go throughout the terrain and surprise enemies by grabbing them by their feet. They also have some pretty cool melee attacks with the claws, so I think Beast Kirby or Animal Kirby would be pretty cool. Epic Yarn Kirby is kind of cheating in this list because it's not really a power-up, but I am just going to talk about him and say he gets the first round pass, but odds are he's probably not going to make it to the end because of this. But anyways, he does have a lot of cool transformations he can turn into, like a tank or a rocket, but for the most part, he's still not really a copy ability, but I just had to throw him in here for the heck of it. Waddle Dee fans rejoice because Spear Kirby would be pretty daggone sweet. He has a lot of combo attacks with it, and he can even fly in the air with it like a helicopter and do all kind of tricks and stuff with it, so I think it'd be a pretty cool attack. Bell Kirby, which is still a weird one to me, he just starts hitting people with bells. Unlike Mario, he doesn't turn into a cat. He just starts banging everybody in the head with bells. I don't know, no. Archer Kirby is like Cupid, but a little better, because I know he doesn't have the ability to fly with wings, but his arrow game is exceptional. He can shoot multiple arrows and even hide in like little bushes or little blocks and then shoot arrows from underneath, or he can melee you with an arrow in his hand from up close, which would be great. Beetle is like a mix of fighter and suplex, where he can pick up enemies and slam them, but he can also combo you up close with a whole bunch of jabs and punches, and he can also fly in the air, which is a lot of combo potential and a lot of moveset potential. Circus Kirby has the ability to juggle things, even roll out on balls and try to keep his balance, and blow up balloon animals, but for the most part, it doesn't seem like it'd be that much fun to play with him, or he'd even be that good in Smash. Leaf Kirby can cause a whirlwind of leaves to fly around as like a barrier, and he can also throw leaves out. Not like Mega Man can, but you know, it's not that great either way, so we're not counting it. Whip has a lot of potential as well because it has extreme range like Simon and Richter, and it can also combo into a lot of like little jabs and little attacks, but it can also grab and tether, which would be pretty daggone cool, and he can even spin it above his head for a little helicopter move so he can recover. Water is very basic. He can squirt water vertically, he can kind of surf on the water and cause little waves, but nothing besides that. Staff is a pretty interesting one that just happened, but it is a weird one that causes Kirby to do all kind of cool things with it. He can jab people with it or even hop on top of it and fling himself throughout the stage, which could be pretty cool. Dr. Kirby can kind of be like Dr. Mario, as he can shoot some pills out, he can use clipboards and all kind of cool doctor stuff, and he could also heal himself by giving himself medicine and potions and stuff, which would be pretty cool to be able to heal yourself. Poison Kirby is pretty much just exactly the same as water, but it has poison effects, leaving long-lasting devastation upon his enemies, which is, once again, not that interesting. ESP is pretty much already Ness, so you got Ness Kirby, which is like psychic abilities. He can teleport, he can shoot like a little electric beams out and create these like a little electric orb, so, Festival Kirby is like the new Crash and Mike, where it's like a one-time celebration on stage that wipes off the screen, but you only get one chance to do this, so it wouldn't work that well in Smash. Paint Kirby can actually do a lot of things. He can melee people with a paintbrush, he can paint on an easel, creating pictures to life like Waddle Dees, Meta Knights, King DDDs, all kind of stuff like that, and he can actually sculpt a sculpture and pick it up and start swinging it at you and beating you up with it, which is great. And last but not least, number 60, you got Spider Kirby, which he would just wrap you up in a web. He can also kick you once you're webbed up, but like I said, that's pretty much it. Not that exciting. Well, I hope you guys have your choice, because I have narrowed it down to the final 4 Kirbys left in this list. And those final 4 are Ghost, Beetle, Ninja, and Bubble Kirby. Now, obviously, there were a lot of Kirbys to choose from, 60 different Kirby copy abilities, but I've chosen 4, and these 4 are based upon unique moveset and their potential for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And we are going to break it down now to the final 3. So the character leaving is Beetle Kirby. Beetle Kirby sounds like a really good idea for Smash. He's got the carry, he can drag you along, he can pretty much suplex you and all kind of stuff. He can melee you and everything, he can even fly. But some of these on this list are so dynamic and they're so expressive, this one just quite didn't make it. The next one to leave is Ghost Kirby. Unfortunately, Ghost doesn't really bring enough to the table. Yes, it'd be really cool to be able to control your opponents and like make them almost jump off the ledge a little bit, or just a little bit of just, I don't know, controlling them, using some of their weapons for a little bit and then letting go, attacking other people with them, or just letting them get hit. That'd be pretty cool, but it just seems like it'd be really hard to do and really hard to fit into Smash, and I just don't know how well that would work out at the end. However, we are down to our final 2, being Bubble Kirby and Ninja. And of course, there's a good reason for the winner of this, but we're going to find out who wins. Now, taking our number 1 spot for the Kirby Battle Royale is Bubble Kirby. Yeah, that's right. Straight out of left field, Bubble Kirby comes in and takes the #1 spot. But why, you might ask? Well, just like I said before, I know this is more of a Kirby Squeak Squad type of thing, but Kirby's able to store his power-ups within these bubbles and pretty much save a lot of them and use them whenever he wants. So he can capture different characters in these bubbles and use their powers throughout the battle whenever he wants, kind of like Hero. It could have a dynamic moveset. Considering the fact that Smash Ultimate has over 70 plus characters, Kirby could have over 70 plus potential movesets, and if there's an 8-player battle, he could just copy everybody's attacks and bubbles and be able to use them whenever he pleases. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Those of you that have been patiently waiting for this video, I know it's taken a while. 60 characters was a lot to do some research on and, do some extra, touching up on this video. It took a while to make, so please, if you guys enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and hit that post notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything that I post. But thank you guys so much, and whatever you guys want to see next, comment down below. What character deserves the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate treatment, and what character deserves their round on the Battle Royale to see who would make it in to Smash Ultimate. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya, guys.